Ever think about the brains behind the data? Like who builds the systems that take raw numbers and turn them into, well, something that makes sense?
It's more than just making sense, right? We're
Yeah.
talking about unlocking insights, making data sing, tell a story.
Exactly. So today we're diving deep into the world of a data warehouse designer.
And let me tell you, after going through this RoleCatcher guide, this career path is anything but dry and dusty. It's way more exciting than you might think.
More like data detectives than database dwellers, am I right?
Spot on. RoleCatcher really nails it when they describe these folks as the architects of insight. We're swimming in data these days, and businesses need those insights to survive, to thrive.
So it's not just about managing data, it's about designing the systems that make that data useful.
Exactly. Planning, connecting, designing these really intricate data warehouses. But it's the why that gets me fired up.
The impact.
Absolutely. Imagine taking raw data and turning it into a dashboard that predicts customer trends or streamlines, like a global supply chain.
That's huge.
It is. They're the ones building the systems that fuel those aha moments for businesses.
It's like they're piecing together these massive data puzzles, and that picture, that's what reveals those game-changing insights.
And don't forget the ETL processes, right?
Yeah.
Extracting, transforming, loading all that data.
Making sure the information flowing into those reports is accurate and reliable.
Precisely. They're like the quality control officers of the data world, making sure everything's tip-top.
High stakes, big impact kind of work. So what's a typical day actually look like for a data warehouse designer?
RoleCatcher paints a pretty dynamic picture. Think collaborating with global teams, diving into some seriously complex code, maybe even presenting designs to, the bigwigs.
Not just sitting in a cubicle crunching numbers.
No way. This is a fast-paced environment, constantly learning, adapting to new tech. Some days you're troubleshooting, others you're brainstorming.
Definitely not your average 9 to 5, so there's this constant pressure to stay ahead of the curve.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking cloud-based systems, AI, machine learning. It's all impacting how data warehouses are designed.
Yeah.
It's a field for those who, thrive on challenges, on constantly leveling up.
And RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat it. This career path comes with demands, long hours, complex projects, but they also highlight those rewards. And high demand usually means a nice, healthy paycheck, right?
There's the trade-off. It's demanding, but companies are willing to shell out top dollar for the people who can wrangle their data, make it work for them. But it's not all about the Benjamins.
Right. There's got to be some inherent satisfaction in, cracking the code, right?
Yeah, you said it. There's a real thrill in designing a system that takes data chaos and turns it into strategic clarity. And that's incredibly appealing for those with, that analytical mind.
So we're talking about folks who are energized by tackling those big, messy data challenges. But what about the skills and knowledge you need to even get your foot in the door? What does it take to become a data warehouse designer? So you're ready to ditch those spreadsheets and dive headfirst into the data warehouse world, huh? But where do you even start? What are the stepping stones to becoming a data maestro?
Well, RoleCatcher lays out the usual suspects when it comes to education. Computer science, information systems, data science. Those degrees are a solid foundation.
Sure, but knowing the theory and actually wrangling real-world data are two different things, right? So how do you bridge that gap?
Experience. That's where the real learning happens.
Makes sense. So what does RoleCatcher suggest for, getting your hands dirty?
Internships, for sure. Getting your foot in the door, working on real projects while you're still studying.
Ah, so you can start building those data muscles early on.
Exactly. Co-op programs, if you can swing them, those are gold. And even entry-level jobs that involve, say, database management or business intelligence, those can give you a real edge.
It's about getting those reps in. But there's something else RoleCatcher mentions that I found really intriguing. Personal projects. Are we talking, building a data warehouse in your basement?
Think of it more like a coding dojo for data enthusiasts. It doesn't have to be in a basement, but the idea is to showcase your passion. Let's say you're a huge movie buff.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Build a mini data warehouse. Analyze movie trends, box office stats, maybe even predict Oscar winners. Document your process. Show off your creativity.
So it's like saying, look, I don't just understand data, I live and breathe it. That's a powerful message.
Exactly. It shows initiative.
It's not just about the credentials, but the fire in your belly. But let's talk about those nitty-gritty skills. RoleCatcher has this whole section on functions and core abilities, and one that jumped out at me was reading comprehension. I mean, we're talking about data, not Dostoevsky.
Right. But think about it. Data warehouse designers, they're like detectives. They're often deciphering these complex business needs from like ancient, poorly documented
They
systems.
need to be able to read between the lines, so to speak.
Absolutely. Quickly grasp technical specs, translate them into elegant solutions.
So it's about bridging that gap between data and, like, plain English.
Precisely. And that ties into another crucial skill they emphasize: critical thinking. You're constantly making judgment calls: what data matters, how to structure it, anticipating potential roadblocks.
It's seeing the big picture while sweating the small stuff.
Yes. And speaking of sweating, there's coding, which RoleCatcher highlights as essential.
Right, because you're juggling a whole toolbox of technologies, different languages.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of tools, want to peek inside that data designer toolbox.
Let's do it. Give us the rundown.
First up, ETL tools, the heavy lifters. Informatica, Microsoft SSIS, Talend, they extract data from different sources, transform it into something usable, then load it into the data warehouse.
So it's like taking raw ingredients and turning them into a gourmet data feast.
Love that. Then we've got the database management systems, the foundation of it all. You'll be working with Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL.
Each with its own personality, I imagine.
For sure. Think of them as different neighborhoods in our data city. But we're not done. We got to make that data sing, right? That's where reporting tools come in. Tableau, Power BI.
From raw data to data art.
Nailed it. But remember, it's not enough to just master these tools. This field is constantly evolving. You got to be adaptable, always learning new tricks.
So be ready to dance with the data of tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, let's shift gears and talk about what a career path in data warehousing actually looks like. Okay, so we've talked about the tools, the skills, but what does actually climbing that data ladder look like?
RoleCatcher breaks it down into 4 stages, kind of like a video game.
Ooh, I like where this is going. Lay it on me.
You start at entry level, right? Think of it as your apprentice phase.
Learning the ropes, mastering the basics.
Exactly. Data modeling, ETL processes.
Yep.
You're assisting those senior designers, maybe doing some data quality checks, documenting those existing systems.
Getting your hands dirty with some real-world data, no more textbook hypotheticals.
Exactly. Then you level up to junior data warehouse designer. More responsibility, collaborating on design decisions, maybe even leading some smaller projects.
No more fetching coffee?
Nope, you're brewing up some serious data solutions now. This is where those reporting tools we talked about come into play. You're proving you can handle the data and communicate insights effectively.
Okay, I'm hooked. What's next?
Mid-level, things get really interesting. You transition from executor to, like, architect, leading the design of entire data warehouse systems, tackling those complex ETL processes, building dashboards that drive decisions.
So you're not just building anymore, you're leading the build.
Exactly. And get this, RoleCatcher highlights that at this level, you often start mentoring junior designers, passing on that hard-won knowledge.
I love that. So what about the peak? What does it take to reach the summit of senior data warehouse designer?
At the senior level, you've earned that data wizard title, overseeing the entire data warehousing lifecycle, from idea to implementation. You're thinking about scalability, security, future-proofing.
The big picture stuff?
Exactly. You're not just building systems, you're shaping how the whole organization interacts with data.
That's huge. And I bet that kind of responsibility doesn't come cheap.
Let's just say those SQL skills translate into some serious earning potential, according to RoleCatcher. But it's more than just the money, right? It's the satisfaction of seeing your work make a real impact.
Knowing you're helping companies navigate this crazy data deluge, find those golden insights.
Exactly. But let's say someone's ready for this data warehousing adventure. They've got the skills, the passion, maybe even a few personal projects under their belt. How do they actually land that dream job? It's a jungle out there.
Cutthroat, even. Isn't that where RoleCatcher's platform really comes in handy?
It's like having a secret weapon. Their interview prep is top-notch. Thousands of potential interview questions tailored for data warehouse designer roles. And the best part is they give you insights into what a strong answer looks like.
So you're not just prepped for the interview, you're prepped to blow them away. But RoleCatcher doesn't stop there, right?
Oh, no way. They help you craft your CV, optimize it for those applicant tracking systems. They even have a feature where employers can find you based on your skills.
Wait, so the opportunities come to you. That's amazing.
It's like flipping the script, right? Which, when you think about it, is what a data warehouse designer does with data. Taking control, making it work for them.
And that's what's so exciting about this field, wouldn't you say? It's not just about crunching numbers, it's about empowering businesses to make smarter decisions, to unlock new possibilities.
It's about shaping the future. And with resources like RoleCatcher out there, anyone with the passion and drive can become a data wizard.
So if you're ready to ditch those spreadsheets and dive into a world of SQL queries, data pipelines, and game-changing insights, this might just be the perfect career path for you. The world of data is waiting to be designed.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one building it.